Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tip. My name is Julian, and today we're going to be talking about the injury update for Week 7. And it's a bit of a doozy. There are so many injuries to cover this week and a lot of big names to talk about as well. Before we get into it, guys, please leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I would really appreciate the support. Without further ado, let's jump into some longer-term injuries, starting off with Robin Lehner, and he's still being listed as day-to-day. He's been listed as day-to-day for almost 2 weeks now, and so I'm going to move him on to this longer-term injury because we don't really have a real update on Robin Lehner. We don't know what's going on. We don't know how much longer he's going to be out for. As an owner of Robin Lehner myself, it is very frustrating not knowing what's going on with him. But I urge patience because I do believe that he will get half the starts when he comes back because they are paying a lot of money for him. They're not going to give Fleury all the starts. Next is Alexander Radulov, Dallas Stars, 80% owned, and I included him on this list because he is skating again. It looks like he has a chance of coming back this week, maybe Saturday or Sunday, but I'm not going to bank on that. I think he comes back in time for the game against the Chicago Blackhawks next Tuesday, March 9th. Next is Vladimir Tarasenko, St. Louis Blues, 74% owned. And if you haven't picked him up already and he's on your waiver wire, go ahead and do so because he should be coming back any day now. They say he can probably come back during the Blues' current road trip. That road trip is 6 games long, and they've already played 2 of those games. So he should come back very, very soon. Add him to your IR if you haven't. Even if you don't have IR space, Tarasenko is someone that you should be adding to your team right away. Next is Colton Parayko, St. Louis Blues, 52% owned, and we finally got a little bit of an update on his injury. He's out indefinitely. I don't think that means 5 or 6 weeks, but I think he'll miss at least a couple of weeks. In points leagues, you can drop him. In other types of leagues, I'd probably hold on to him, stash him on an IR spot if you can. The next 2 guys on this list are Tyler Seguin and Ben Bishop, both 53% owned, and I'm bringing them up because both of these guys are set to return in early April. If you have room on your IR now, grab them and stash them on an IR spot because now is the time to do so because those guys should get you a lot of points once they come back from injury. Jumping into some day-to-day or shorter-term injuries now. First, we're going to talk about Sidney Crosby, who was announced today was put on the COVID list. This might sound really bad, but honestly, it could just be a close contact. So Crosby, yeah, he'll miss the game today, but he won't necessarily miss any more games as long as he continues to test negative for the virus. Obviously, the worst case scenario is he does actually keep testing positive, and then he'll end up missing 2 weeks, which would really suck for Pittsburgh. But for now, don't expect him to necessarily miss a lot of time. For tonight's game, if you want a direct replacement, Jared McCann should be centering the second line and should also be centering the top power play for Pittsburgh. Next is Frederik Andersen, Toronto Maple Leafs, 98% owned, and that upper body injury that he's been dealing with looks like he's almost over it. He should be back either Wednesday or Thursday. The team has a back-to-back, so they may opt to sit him on Wednesday and start him only on Thursday, but either way, he should be back for his team's back-to-back set Wednesday and Thursday. Next is Cale Makar, Colorado Avalanche, 98% owned. He's currently dealing with an upper body injury, and he's been confirmed to be out until at least Friday. Friday and Saturday, Colorado has a back-to-back set of games at home, so there's a possibility that he plays there. He's not confirmed by any means, but in the meantime, Devin Taves is a great guy to add to your team because he is manning that top power play as long as Cale Makar is out. Next is Jacob Markstrom, Calgary Flames, 92% owned. He's dealing with that upper body injury, and he's apparently very close to a return. There's a very good chance that he will return on Thursday. Just double check in the morning if he does end up getting that start on Thursday. If he doesn't, David Riddick is someone that you can stream for that one more game. Next is Darcy Kemper, Arizona Coyotes, 88% owned. And it looked like he was going to play on Wednesday. The coach was very optimistic, but now he's been ruled out. So it'll either be Aiden Hill or Ronta tomorrow, so I'm not going to recommend either one. You're going to have to end up checking before the game starts who ends up playing if you want to scoop up the guy who is going to play. I am optimistic, though, that Kemper comes back for either Friday or Saturday in that back-to-back series. Next is Teuvo Teravainen, Carolina Hurricanes, 82% owned, and he has finally started skating again. He's dealing with that concussion, but it looks like he's starting to get over it a little bit. Hopefully he'll be in the lineup by the time their game on Sunday rolls around. If that is the case, Svechnikov should move from that top line onto a line with Jordan Staal again, and Jordan Staal will have a decent amount of fantasy value once again. Next is Evgeny Kuznetsov, Washington Capitals, 79% owned. He's dealing with an upper body injury, but he did attend practice today, so there's a very good chance that he actually ends up playing tomorrow for Washington. If he doesn't, Lars Eller is actually a pretty decent pickup right now because he's centering a line with Ovechkin. Next is Travis Konechny, Philadelphia Flyers, 78% owned on the COVID list, but it looks like he is going to play tonight against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Activate him if you have him. Next is Josh Anderson, Montreal Canadiens, 71% owned, dealing with a lower body injury. He did skate on his own today, which is good progress, but obviously he won't play tonight because he didn't practice with the team. Hopefully he can be back for Thursday, but it might be more realistic to expect him back only on Saturday. In the meantime, if you want to grab Drouin or Armia, they're decent fill-ins. Next is Dylan Larkin, Detroit Red Wings, 67% owned, dealing with an upper body injury, and we don't really know how long he's going to be out for. Nothing's really been confirmed yet for him, so we're just going to have to wait and see. In deep leagues, you're going to have to hold on to him, but in shallower leagues, it's not the worst idea in the world to drop him. Next is Tomas Hertl, San Jose Sharks, 52% owned, and he's still got about a week and a half left out at the very minimum because he's on that COVID list, so he was set to miss at least 14 days. In the meantime, you can grab Rudolfs Balcers. The guy's balling out. He's playing on the top line and the top power play in San Jose, and he's currently got 5 points in his last 4 games, riding a 4-game point streak. Go ahead and grab him now if you're a Hertl owner, or even otherwise if you're in a deep league. He's a pretty good add to your team. Next is Jaden Short, St. Louis Blues, 48% owned, dealing with a lower body injury, and they just announced that now he's out indefinitely. Hopefully it's not too long, but it was always listed as day-to-day before yesterday, so it's a little bit worrisome that now he's suddenly out indefinitely. If you need a replacement, Jordan Kyrou is a good option. Also, Tarasenko, if he's still available, go ahead and grab him. Next is Nico Hischier, New Jersey Devils, 29% owned, and he took a puck to the face a couple games ago. He missed last game, and he's also going to be missing tonight's game, unfortunately. While he's out, you can grab Pavel Zacha, 34% owned. This guy's riding a crazy point streak, and he's playing really well right now. He's no superstar by any means, but as long as Zacha stays hot, he's a pretty good add to your team, and honestly even better than Nico Hischier is right now anyway. Next is Linus Ullmark, Buffalo Sabres, 26% owned, currently dealing with a lower body injury. He's out for at least a month. If you need a goalie in deeper leagues, Carter Hutton's actually a pretty good fill-in because he will be getting almost every single start for Buffalo, and Buffalo can't really play worse than they have been playing, right? Next is Jack Campbell, Toronto Maple Leafs, 21% owned, dealing with an undisclosed injury. He actually just came back from an injury, so hopefully what he's dealing with now isn't too serious. Either way, Jack Campbell shouldn't really be owned right now because Frederik Andersen is coming back from an injury in the next 2 games, I think for sure. So yeah, the only reason you should own Campbell is because he might get the start either Wednesday or Thursday because it's a back-to-back series. But right now, we don't even know if Campbell's going to be healthy for those games. Hutchinson might end up getting one of those back-to-back starts. You'll have to tune in the day of the game to see who ends up getting that start. Next is Dylan Strome, Chicago Blackhawks, 18% owned. He's currently dealing with a concussion. This one kind of hurts me a little bit because I've been a Dylan Strome believer all season long, and he's kind of let me down recently with his lackluster play, and now the injury. It's rough, and I hope that he ends up coming back for Thursday's game, getting that top power play time again, and starts producing again. But if he comes back and starts looking weak again, he might end up being someone that you may have to drop from your team. In the meantime, Pius Suter is getting that top line time with Kane and DeBrincat. He's a pretty good add to your team. Next is Matt Grzelcyk, Boston Bruins, 19% owned. He was dealing with a lower body injury. He's questionable for Wednesday's game against Washington, but it does look like, in my opinion, that he will end up playing. But he has been practicing on that second power play, so it looks like I was right McAvoy has just played so good and has taken over that spot on the top power play. So unfortunately for Grzelcyk, being on that second power play is not too valuable for him. If you own Grzelcyk, you may have to drop him if it is indeed the case that Grzelcyk is on that second power play. Next is Anthony Duclair, Florida Panthers, 12% owned, dealing with a lower body injury. It's going to keep him out this entire week. He could be back early next week. But the thing is, he was a drop for me going into the week anyway, because I had just found out that he was demoted to that third line and was no longer playing with Barkov and Verhaeghe. So there's no real reason to keep him on your team right now. If he comes back from injury and ends up playing top lines again, then you can consider him. But for now, just drop him. If you want to add someone to replace him, Vatrano's looking pretty good on that top line right now with Barkov and Verhaeghe. All right, guys, you've reached the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. I really appreciate it. Please leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment, ask me a fantasy hockey related question. I'll be happy to answer you. Until next time, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.